I'll be fucking talking about how prices suck, how the government sucks, how everybody needs to fucking be kind and should have free healthcare and free houses to live. I'll fucking go off.
One of the woke left spreading the agenda.
The woke leftists.
Yep. I briefly ran a podcast that was all just basically free therapy. So yeah. And that was one thing we always fucking did was we always just said, look, everybody deserves shit. So yeah, it's okay. I'll keep it MAGA for you then, Lass.
Yes, you caught me. I'm actually such a MAGA head.
Obviously, I could. How could you not?
You know what? It was always a typo. It wasn't Megalass. It was Megalass.
It was Megalass.
Yeah, because if you started recording, I'm killing you. I'm not having that shit exist on the internet.
Oh shit!
It's definitely started recording. Look at this stupid bastard. He's all smug and shit. He's all like, "Oh, look at me."
No one needs to hear about that.
Bro is getting attacked.
No one needs to hear that, but that is fucking content, baby. That is the fucking shit you live for.
I don't want to edit out
we get the big checks.
First 90 seconds of this goddamn podcast.
I got
don't
worry. I've got tons of dumb jokes and stories. We're gonna
leave it. It's funny. It's absolutely.
It's really funny. Yeah. Don't worry.
Yeah, no, so seeing as you're new, like, listen, we make it our goal to say the most out of context shit for Dex.
Yeah, no, I get you.
Yeah, it's great.
That's fair.
You know, we've only had one intro we had to, like, edit and delete.
I don't know what year. I don't know what year.
Good job, Hunter. Believe it or not, actually, if anybody DMs me with $100, I will send you the clip of what Hunter said. I have it. Trust me.
You don't have it. I do.
Listen, that clip exists in one place right now.
No, what do you mean? Text them in your computer.
Listen. In like a year from now, we're gonna have the level prod iceberg. All right, that shit's gonna be on like tier 6.
That should be at the bottom where it's like Hunter's forbidden words or something like that.
No.
Along with like
it's. No, like here's the thing. I keep on blaming Hunter for it because he's the one who said it. Mega did goad him.
Okay, yeah, but that always happens. Someone's got to goad. You don't just get that kind of shit without something happening. Like you got to goad that shit.
Yeah. Now, if I said it like with no context whatsoever,
that's a different problem.
That feels a little different, a little bit.
Yeah, no.
Here, how about just calm this all down?
Yeah, a cat.
Kitty.
This was a certified
bro. That head stare. Holy shit.
Bro's got that 1,000,000-yard stare. What a good cat.
That might be the calmest I've seen Zay in a minute in front of the camera.
The cat's name is Saiyan?
Zay.
No,
Zay. Oh, I was like, whoa. I was like, that's fucking. Saiyan. That's a ball. I was like, that's a fucking baller move right there.
I've never watched Dragon Ball, so.
Really?
What? You've never seen Dragon Ball?
I've seen. I've never watched
You've seen like
it. I've never watched it.
Okay.
Well, the really funny part about this is that
but it's just like I've never brought myself to actually sit down and say, okay, I'm gonna watch it from the start.
Yeah, I don't blame you. It is hard.
Yeah, I mean, well, before you go in, the most ironic part is that the colors you have for this podcast are literally the colors of Goku's gi.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the blue. Yeah, the blue, red, the silver. Technically, the black over the silver, but yeah.
The orange especially is there.
Yeah, that's like the orange too. Yeah.
It's pretty close.
I think I've talked about this with y'all after some of the podcasts, but certain podcast colors are little like Easter eggs or stuff. Like you can like the one I'll point out right away is Headrammer's episode. It was CGL colors.
Okay, that makes sense.
I think Hippie's episode I did Megatron. No.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Megatron. Oh, you did like a. Okay.
It was gray and purple.
I'm gonna be so real. I never noticed. If you had not said that, I never would have connected that in my head. That's crazy.
Easter eggs.
That's crazy.
That's commitment.
Yeah, like
that's commitment to
my
the cast.
It's like if you go back, I think to the first ever thumbnail that we had on the test one. Hunter posted a photo of a wrestler because he had his glasses taped up at the center. And I put that in and just turned the opacity down to where you could see it, but you had to be looking for it.
My glasses are still taped, but if they were white tape, I'm just saying my ass would look just like fucking Bubble Ray Dudley. Just gotta like shave the hair.
Yeah, no, I see you.
And then I'm set.
Yeah, you're actually like the cosplay is like half there.
I
Get some
thought about
muscles,
it.
fake tattoos, like that's right there.
I was at a convention a couple weeks ago, and I considered it's like, do I really want to do this? And ultimately, I was like, nah, fine, I'll save it for another time.
You have your Halloween cast.
That's
right there.
I do.
They're CGL Halloween. Yeah.
I just do my Denji every Halloween and every convention. It's really simple. It's easy.
Which Genji do you do the pool
No,
float Genji?
No,
Denji.
Oh, Denji. Oh, Denji.
Denji,
Okay.
yeah,
I was gonna say, I was like,
Chainsaw Man.
Chainsaw
I was like, tell me you do the pool noodle Genji one. That would fucking be, that'd be incredible.
If only.
Well, I don't know where I'm gonna put this one in starts to this podcast.
Great.
I really don't. I don't know if this is one of the better ones or if this is one of the worst ones.
Oh, I think this is great. This is fantastic.
We are off to a start of all time. But everyone, welcome back to For the Love of Prod. This is our 22nd episode. So the double deuce. As always, I am joined by Huntertain, Megalass, and our guest this week is Soav. Soav, man. I want to ask how you're doing, but I think, after the first 5 minutes of this, I feel like you're good.
I say I've actually had like a fantastic day because today was my day off. I have to work on the weekend, so like I've done nothing but like sleep in. I streamed some Splatoon this morning and kind of just took it easy. So it's one of those days where it's like, wow, living is actually kind of great. Let's just ride this high for the rest of the day.
I'm right there with you. My off days are not the weekends as well. They're Tuesday and Wednesday.
That's fair. I only get one of these like every month, and it's that's fine. But like it's nice because then you get to deal with like the regular people, the normies out there in the world on like a Monday and Tuesday when you like go to get food.
The normies out there.
The normies.
The normies. They're the normies. They're like they're the nerds that are out there in the 9 to 5 just doing work and running around and 9 times out of 10 causing accidents that I had to get stuck in. So normies.
Here, I'll tell you the reason for the color Soab. It's
Go
because
for
I
it.
knew you like Splatoon. This is a nod
Yes,
to Splatoon.
the
1.
orange and blue.
Yep.
The orange, yeah. I kind of got that too. I was like, I was like, this did look familiar, but respect. This is actually the color that they were arguing about putting on for the Splatoon Liquipedia, which will never get used by anybody. So it'll be like, I appreciate seeing these colors somewhere else.
I mean, there's a lot of sports teams that use them, but too bad they kind
Sure.
of suck.
How dare you? The Knicks are doing fine, I think. I don't know. I don't really watch pro.
I mean, they made
pro
the
ball,
Eastern
so-
Conference. They made the Eastern Conference Finals, and they're doing a lot better than my Hornets.
Yeah. That's fair. That's pretty fair.
Actually, it's easy. It's actually.
I'm not trying to be mean to you because I don't know sports. Have the Hornets ever been good?
They were good
I feel like-
before they moved to New Orleans.
Yeah. Yeah, when they were still the Charlotte Hornets, right? Like that was the last time I remember them being
Yeah. We don't talk
like
about
good.
we don't talk about the Bobcats in this house.
That's fine. We don't need
Don't
to.
talk about the Bobcats.
That's fine. We don't have to.
We can talk about Gerald Wallace. I'm fine with that. Only Bobcat I like. After that, fuck it.
No,
All right.
that's fine. We can skip it.
Yeah, okay, but we are actually getting way, way far off this.
30.
I'm honestly surprised Mega hasn't stopped me and said, "Hey, why don't you get this thing?"
No.
I'm sick.
Too
My
good.
brain's gone. It's on you.
Hey, same. Let's go.
Oh, you picked the great. Oh, I picked the great episode to be on. That means I can tangent as hard as I want. Yes, let's go.
Exactly.
We're gonna
Anyway.
need it. We're gonna need it because
No.
I don't like. You said you're a regular listener. I don't know if you listened to the last week's episode, but the end of the podcast
Yes.
last week. Honestly,
It
that
didn't
was
happen. It didn't happen.
it was
Didn't
fucking-
happen.
That's
It
a
was
hole in the
fucking-
time-space continuum.
Nope.
We,
That's fair.
we went deep down a rabbit hole.
That's what these are for.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
I'm just every time now I look it down on my iPad because I write down like what I'm gonna title everything. I just look at what I have for 0 at 000. I have it just written down as "Dear God."
Look, that's how you know this is going to be a banger. That's how you know.
Debatable, but you know what? I'll ride with it here. But so I want to give you the time to introduce yourself a little bit here. You know what games you do, what roles you normally have filled in here before we get into our 2 normal questions for the week. So why don't you give us a quick introduction of yourself?
Yeah, sure. For anybody who hasn't seen me around, my name is SoavDannom. I'm starting to go by Sam a little bit more since now I hang around with Bullskunk and he's wearing off on me. I am a color caster for a ton of variety of games. I also do some play-by-play casting as needed. Particularly, I'm in shooters, so you heard me talk about Splatoon a little earlier, maybe. But Overwatch, which is where I know all these nerds from. I used to do Valorant and kind of fell out of that scene. I probably missed the boat, so I just sunk the ship. But I also do team fight tactics. I also do some kinds of odds and ends things, like Mario Kart has become a very frequent one for me now. But I'm a just kind of a flex caster now around the New England area. So if there's ever any sort of event that ever gets thrown out the way, I'm usually one of the guys that throws their names in the hat.
Hey, don't scratch that. Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, like you said, you know all of us from Overwatch. I've honestly been really surprised with how often I've seen you do Mario Kart this year.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know there was that big of a scene for Mario Kart.
Oh, dude, the grassroots on Nintendo scenes are just insane. Can I swear a lot? Should I swear a lot?
No,
How
you're
do you
fine.
guys feel about that?
You're fine.
All right, it's fucking wild. It's fucking wild how like deep these grassroots between like Splatoon and Mario Kart go. Every time I like step into an event, I learn something new. Like Mario Kart in particular, they're all like saying goodbye to Mario Kart 8. They have this whole like face it system of their own where they run events and they run tournaments and they log points and they have rankings and world leaderboards and stuff. And it's insane. Like I've popped open the page half a dozen times and like they don't have Wikipedias, so they literally just go, fine, we'll make it our own. It's insane. And it's insane how popular it's getting. I was talking to the producer that I work with a lot, and he's like, yeah, we're gonna like start getting to the collegiate scene and we're gonna start pushing for it to be in collegiates and high schools. And you've kind of seen them if you ever seen like play versus, but it's wild. These Nintendo grassroots scenes are so powerful. You cannot underestimate them.
Yeah, and like I think the high school league in North Carolina, Vessel, I believe it's called. I think they did Mario Kart this past fall. Or no, yeah, past spring. Like I think it was the first time they had it as like, hey, this is one of our big games we're actually doing this semester. Which
go
ahead.
No, I was gonna say it's becoming very popular in like the school system because it's a very easy one to pick up. On paper, it's really like easy to sell to. Like everybody, you don't need to be good at it in theory. You can just drop in and go. You don't need to have like an insane skill set. I can talk. I'll save the way depths of the how it all works, but I'll say that like there's like an organizer who is like slowly spreading across the U.S. and like they're slowly getting into like your Rocket League. Now it's like Rocket League, Smash Bros, Mario Kart are all becoming like the primary ones that people can like go varsity in. And that's just crazy to me.
It really is. And I mean, it all kind of comes from the fact that Nintendo just doesn't care about esports outside of like, they care about it a little bit for Splatoon, which is cool, but I wish they gave like Smash and some of their other games a little bit more of a chance at like actually doing it.
Yeah.
Are you implying them single-handedly killing the Smash Melee scene was like anti-esports or something?
Obviously.
Yes.
That's a
big yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's weird though because they are, but at the same time they're trying to like double dip. I know Dexy, I think you might have seen this go by because you also follow Splatoon stuff, but like they just announced that during like a North America league, and have nothing else, and it's just like, do you care about esports or do you not? Because like, why are you announcing this and making like a big deal about this if you aren't just gonna like just like do a worlds occasionally? Because like usually they run like a big like worlds event for Smash, for Splatoon, and for Mario Kart too, but it's so like farting trumpet fanfare that most people just miss it. It's literally that like it's one of those like the trumpet meme kids where you like they constantly stretch them out where it's like like one of those kind of deals where just like no, they don't announce it, but like it happens. And now they're just like deciding they're gonna put like a half-assed effort. You don't get both sides of it, and it's fucking frustrating. I hear that so much from everybody in the Nintendo world.
Yeah, and like last thing I'll touch on with this. Wasn't the team that won like the 2023 or the last time Nintendo did a world champion? Weren't they a German team? for Splatoon?
They did one in 2025. So, so the actual last team, I love. I have to go into a little story here. So the actual last one they did was 2025, and I'm gonna tell you that when you think an esport is immune to its shitty people that have like racial problems and like all the pros that like get caught saying shitty things, Splatoon has made it into the ranks because in 2024 I think it was like a German or like a European team, but in 2025 it was an NA team. And then somewhere through the middle of like 2025, when they were like, we're gonna give you all this like custom stuff that you can have in game to celebrate the last world champions.
I remember.
And then it got leaked that like 3 of them were a bunch of racists.
Mhm.
And Nintendo went, yeah, everything's gone. We're not doing that. No, absolutely not. We're taking back our titles. Get out of here. And you're lucky if we're gonna do this again now.
Yeah, I remember that because it was like there were the titles, but then there was also like I think they got immortal, like their characters or what they were wearing got immortalized in the game, and then that just fucking appeared, like gone.
Yep, they're squids and like their characters with all their gear that they wore primarily through it were supposed to be like idolized on a banner, and there was going to be like custom, like a slightly custom version or like a stamp or something you could get it with like their faces on it, but they just went, nope, okay, that's all gone. We're just replacing it with a generic one. You guys suck. Get out of here. We're not doing this again. Turns out the children's shooting game could be just as bad as the rest of esports. Who knew?
Somehow worse sometimes, apparently.
Okay,
but to get back on track with this podcast, so you, I think we've had a couple people on before who are, I would say, regular listeners of this podcast. So you know what's gonna come up here. I want to know what got you in, what keeps you coming back. So let's start off with the first one. What got you in to doing stuff in esports and then getting into casting?
So there's this little game that maybe everybody heard of. It was made by a studio called Blizzard Entertainment, and it's called Overwatch. But once upon a time, that game came out, and my friends and girlfriend at the time were like super invested in it. They were like, they saw it, they were really cool, they were invested, and they wanted to play a lot. And we were all playing on console, and I was just kind of like cool, seems fun. I don't really want to do shooters. I had played a bit of like Quake and Unreal Tournament and a lot of those like now boomer shooters back in the day, but eventually I was like, whatever. They eventually kind of conned me into playing. So I started playing, and then eventually, because I was on console, I found this little place called Console Gaming League, CGL, as we all know it. I signed up to play in like a one-off event, made a couple of friends, acquaintances. We eventually signed up for CGL. We were a gold team playing in Plat, and we got fucking dunked on. We got demolished. I think we had a singular map win at the end of the season against a like Plat near Diamond team, and we felt like we won the fucking Super Bowl because we won like, oh, I can actually remember it. It was Oasis City Center. And we won in like a 99 to like 75 because we just fucking snuck it out somehow. And that was our only win of the season. We beefed that season and we kind of got done with it. Everyone around me kind of fell out of it. And I was like, well, like, I'm not good enough to play. They got rid of the gold division. And I was like, but I want to like help this group. I believe in CGL. I think what they're doing is really awesome. So I want to help. They made a call for staff, for casters and production. And I went, fuck it, like, I don't know, maybe they can, like, I like the game, I kind of understand the game, I know I was like one of the brains of my team, whether they liked me to be or not, but they needed casters, so I jumped in. I bought a capture card that is currently somewhere hidden away behind me, and it's like the old school like USB plug-in one. So the first couple of years back in I was out of college in 2013. It was back home. So 2014, 2015. I don't even know when this game came out now. I feel old. 2016?
2016. Are we coming up?
16?
Is this year 9?
Yeah, it's 2016. Yeah.
It's 2016 is when it came out. So it was about 2016, 2017 maybe when I got started and jumped in. And this was about the time, for anybody who knows anything about CGL history, this was about the time where like Skate Action was still doing stuff, Rammer was still doing stuff, Billy was there, Big Hungry Phil was still casting, and a lot of the bigger names in like the tier 2, tier 3 scene were still kind of working at CGL and kind of setting this up and going. But so I started, I started off as a play-by-play there because I was like, well, I feel comfortable talking about the game, but not enough. So let's do some play-by-play. Survived a season there, did some production alongside of it because they're at that time, and we had maybe 4 of us that could produce because we had capture cards. So there was like nobody to do it. It was like me, Joker, Rammer, and like one other person who I don't even think is there anymore. And that was like the only people could do it. So when it was like, well, you could pick up a game, like producers were always in need. But I got into there from working with CGL. Eventually I went, okay, well, like Discord started to take off. A lot of the other places started to go. And I kind of expanded first into EU, getting some gigs with some smaller teams and some smaller orgs, and then onward and forward. Once Overwatch kind of became really moving, there was a realization that was like, oh, well, now we have too many play-by-plays. I guess I should go to Color. Swapped over to Color. Kind of talked to a couple of people that were like really good with it. Talked to Chef Billy. Talked to a couple of the people who were in there at the time, and they helped me get my feet in the ground and kind of ready to go. And then it was kind of expanding out into like smaller events, T3 events, Will English events. I don't think that name means anything to you guys, but
Yeah, we've had Will on.
I mean,
I know you've had Will on. Okay. When he ran events, he was the like sole proprietor of like tier 3 of Overwatch. Was some of the fun, stupidest games I've ever seen. Just getting to cast Zerion under the team name Zerion Needs a Girlfriend I don't forget that, because it was one of the funniest things as a caster that I could work with, was just talking about how this dude on Flex Support is selling himself, and I'm just like hyping him up to get a girlfriend from like playing Zen in the background. But yeah, from there it just kind of went into like, well, okay, I'm good enough at this. Like, what else can I do? At the time, eventually became Splatoon. It became other stuff. And then it kind of just became like, what am I playing and what is there a need to? So, what started as a love for Overwatch and a love for console watch specifically kind of evolved into, hey, I'm like enjoying talking about video games, unsurprisingly, and I seem to be decent enough at it. Let's do this for like fun and maybe some bucks on the side.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's kind of how like we all look at it as well. Like, we're gonna do this for fun. We absolutely love casting. If there's a chance to make money, cool. If there's not, hey, still cool. We love doing it.
Yeah.
Isn't that right, y'all?
Yeah, we take those. You know what? Doing what I love to do, making a small little change along the side. It's kind of hard to complain in that situation. Like, like Dex, we're making big bucks from basically. We've made $11.
Shit.
We are going to be. Yeah.
Wait, Dex is like, wait, you're getting paid for this?
Wait, you're getting paid?
Dex is. Wait,
we're going to be rolling in it. All right, rolling in it.
I mean, to be fair, that's pretty good. I've had more gigs come up stale and empty than they have like that kind of stuff. That said, always vet who you're working for, kids, because there are some times where I've done some gigs that seemed great and then immediately fell flat on their face. Like particularly thinking of for a brief instant, I was able to do a little bit of Japanese Valorant in like the tier 1, tier 2 level. And there was a dude who was like, okay, like he like was looking for casters. He's like, oh, I'll pay like, $20 a game. And I was like, okay, sure. Like that's a going rate. Sure. And he's like, hey, we have this big event going. It's Japan. We're going to get this going and then we're going to run a bunch more. And he like sold it really well. I had to wake up at fucking like 3 a.m. every morning for like a week to cast Japanese Valorant. And it was really cool. They were all really good players. And like the crew behind it was really good. I made some friends with some great German people that were like producing and using TeamSpeak and like setting it all up. But by the end of it, someone went, hey, we never got paid. And what's going on? And the dude just went, it's coming. And someone went, hey, teams never got paid. We're not coming back. And then the dude just fucking just like snap, pieced out and faded. No one ever heard from the dude again. So like promised like 700, yeah, just that straight up like peace out. Like just pieced out. $700 was promised, nothing. Teams were supposed to get like $5,000, got nothing. Everybody was unhappy and nobody won. So vet who you're going for, who you're working with, people.
I'm trying to think if there's ever been a situation where I've necessarily ran into that. Like, I think I've been very lucky with the like few gigs that I've gone outside of CGL that are paid, that they've always, quickly turned around and paid.
Mm-hmm.
But like I've definitely heard of other horror stories, and I don't want to name the big one that kind of happened around a year ago. Because
no, but that's always more fun.
Yeah. Look, I can. I'll put people on blast after, and I'll let you finish your thought, Dex. But
yeah, no. Like the one that happened last year around this time was one of the big collegiate leagues.
Oh,
I'll leave it at
yeah.
And I
know what you're talking about. Yes,
I remember that one being like a huge thing. I think the teams were still kind of giving out their thing.
They were,
but like the production people weren't. And I felt bad for the guy in the middle because I think he was trying to play both sides, but at the end, both sides just ended up not liking him at all.
Mm. Yeah, I was in that crew actually.
Yeah.
The difference is I managed to get paid. So very, very interesting predicament for them. They've changed since then, thankfully, so they've gotten a lot better. But yeah, like the dude in the middle of all that was definitely caught like the worst of it. But yeah, that was one of those weird situations where that's one of those weird situations where they were reputable, like they were really good, and then they just somehow managed to nuke everything because they lost like talent in every single game. There was T1 talent. Like I was casting games with LaFon as like, and there was like no reason for me to, like, other than just like that was who we had on staff. And like, if you know LaFon's a great dude. He's fucking a genius at this game, and I'm fucking fumbling my ass through like play-by-play. Like something had to fucking like something went terribly wrong when like two colors are constantly fumbling across each other, and one of them is like a fucking wizard at this game, and the other one's just fucking me with my thumb up my butt, like trying to make calls as I can.
Fun fact about that. I had filled in for someone at the start of that season.
Yeah.
Because I forgot who brought me in. It was one of our observing friends. Like, and
that would make sense. Yeah.
I feel bad about it, and they said, "Hey, send your PayPal to this person." They ghosted me. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll just say like it was a one-off thing. I don't necessarily care that much.
Honestly, like the reel is kind of worth the value in that kind of regard, because there's unfortunately like so few events that have a prestige that people have like people at our level can have access to, that it's one of those things of like the consolation. You just take the consolation prize, honestly.
Yeah, and like that's what sucks about when I did DreamHack. All the games I casted were on Georgia Tech esports account.
Oh, really?
And they had forgot to set it to be where stuff didn't delete after 14 days. So 14 days later, every cast that I had
I hate that
DreamHack was gone. I was smart that I brought a laptop, and like after the first night, I was sitting in my hotel room before I went to bed, just getting a couple clips here and there. But it kind of sucked because I really did enjoy that. But Mega, have you ever been screwed over by someone who's offering pay?
For something esport? See, technically no. Purely for the fact though of like I just naturally get less paying gigs for two main reasons. One, I don't actively seek them out. Like I'm not like y'all guys, even though I should be. I'm not like putting myself out there, making reels, advertising, doing all this stuff. Me personally, while I understand that is the way to better yourself in this field, I don't know. I'd have no interest in doing all of that. But also, again, for being a VTuber caster, I feel like even if offers were going to slide across my desk, they immediately look, they're like, oh, You're a bunch of
Yeah.
pixels on the screen. It looks unprofessional. Blah, 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 blah.
No, I'm with you. I'm not chronically online. Like I can't do that stuff. So for me, it's like every like 2 years I make a reel, and like I occasionally see like just keep an eye on it, like scroll and just like is there anything like what's coming by? Maybe I get it, but like I'm with you. I don't really like that's why I say I just don't do it. Like I can't. I don't have the energy for that. I feel you.
There was when I first started casting, like the first year, I did a reel every 6 months. Like I did start of the year, midway through the year, and I was like, I want to keep up to date with it. I want to keep as up to date with everything, so everyone can kind of see like what level I'm at. And then it's just like I started talking to other casters and how they did reels, and like one told me I haven't made a reel in 3 years.
Yeah.
They just keep on just having the one reel they made back in like 2022 because it still works for them, and they're a big enough name that people can go off that for the most part.
Yeah. No, I've heard that as well. I'm inclined to agree to like that makes sense, but like I think when you're starting out though, like kind of with anything, like you should have that energy. You should be because you're constantly getting better and you're constantly improving. One of the other things that I always love to like work like I'm working with a couple of guys in New Jersey who are like they're growing like the garden state, they're growing like the scholastic level stuff. And one of the things I always like, I tell them and like I tell the people that like ask me, it's always like the first like year or so, clip everything, start making reels, start practicing stuff, start trying stuff. Even in your like casts and you're like observing, try stuff. Just like try insane stuff, say insane things, and see what works and see what takes. Because something that you say might be a really good reel or it might be a really good clip, or it might do something insane, or it might be a oh god, it might be a leg day. Only thing they can see is this fat L in the visor kind of a comment. Like you never know what you're gonna get. So like when you're like starting out, like clip everything, just like and then figure it out later and just try. If it sucks, you make it again. Then once you get the hang of it, it just comes easier. That's like most things in life too.
Yeah, absolutely. But let's move on to the second part of the question now. So what kind of keeps you coming back? I mean, I kind of know the answer a little bit. I think you've already teased it a little bit as well. But what kind of keeps you coming back?
I like money, Dex. No, I'm kidding. I'm fucking with you.
Not a
perfect answer. Perfect answer.
Perfect answer. No. It's I don't know. I've always been a performer. Like I think that's the part one. For those who don't know me at like maybe more than as a personality level, I grew up playing music and in like as a musician, I was in bands, I was in choirs for like most of like elementary, middle, high school. I went to college for music, so like I was always so used to being on stage. I did theater here in Connecticut, community theater for a while. I was like a relatively large name where like I could kind of almost walk into any role I wanted at a community theater and was like had passes at like paid theater. But like that's part of it. It's just like I'm a performer. I like to be in front of that. I like to give people, I love to give people like a chance to laugh and enjoy and like disconnect from the world around them and a chance to like do that. But the other part of it is I think that there's so much of these games, of these, like whether it's Overwatch, whether it's TFT, whether it's Splatoon, I think so much of these games just kind of floats by people's head, not and like you can say the depth, you can throw out words like you can throw out things like tempo, you can throw out words like buzzwords kind of in a way, but like I don't think the average player of a game really understands them. And I love being able to help educate people and like help them understand what they're doing, what they're seeing, and how they can maybe like apply it to themselves. So whether it's, like why is this comp working that looks insane when you're seeing like Ball, Hog, Life Weaver, Moira, like why is this working? And it's working phenomenally. Or if it's like, why is this underrated C tier like TFT comp working against all these like tier ones? It's really interesting, I think, to kind of break it down and help us understand, because the more we understand the games also gives us a chance to understand why we ourselves do these things.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm kind of right there with you, especially as someone who went from, being primarily a play-by-play to a color, it's kind of fun to kind of break that stuff down as well. But like the thing you said with buzzwords, it is something that like I'm really noticing. Like I will say the same like buzzword or same phrase every fucking cast as if it's like, oh yeah, this is the first time these people are hearing it, when in all reality, no, it's not. They're hearing it in every other cast, maybe explained slightly different, but this is how I want to explain it.
Yeah, and I think that it's like I said, it's important because as a player, I think and like last, you are like actively the player here, like you do this stuff. As like a player, I felt I always understood what it was, or I always struggled to see like the whole picture of like why did we lose a team fight or why did something go wrong. And I think that when it comes to like really understanding it, it's one of those things that being able to just kind of put it out there and like really break it down to zero, which I still suck at, and I can already tell my next couple of pod reviews, like I'm not doing a pod review because I know I'm still missing it, but like once you really start to like break it all down into like the bare absolute minimums that a 4-year-old can understand it, like that's when I think people really get it. And there are similar stuff throughout all these games. It's why I primarily work in shooters, because there are some concepts that are like similar. If I say the concept of tempo, I'm going to throw out there's everybody's favorite buzzword, tempo. What is tempo? Tempo exists in all shooter games. It exists in fighting games too. But it existed across all of that. But things like space control or area control or denial of things like that, like I don't like those are all words that sound very technical, and we're all like, oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. And in the reality, it's like we probably would all give different definitions. So I think like kind of being a voice to give the clarity and maybe, you know, be that kind of guy in the room who's like on the couch with the beer being like, oh, that's why they're doing that thing, is kind of just like a nice place to be.
Well, yeah. Like you were saying, like when you're playing versus casting, especially if you're like training to become, you know, an actually decent caster and know what the heck you're talking about, just from the player POV, I absolutely hate it. Like the like ranked, I've kind of gotten over it to where I'm like I'm chill, I could just do whatever. But like anytime I'm in scrims, it's so much better to just be stupid. I wish I was stupid. Because like to sit there and watch a team fight go wrong, and then in your head, in the middle of the scrim, you're like, this went wrong because this, we did this wrong, we didn't path here, but you can't vocalize any of that because you just have to be like, all right, on to the next fight. It drives me fucking crazy, and because of that, I like low-key tilt sometimes, obviously. But like I can't express the tilt to my teammate. I'm like, listen, like I'm mad, but I can't explain why. It would take too long. Just go. And being stupider, for those at home, it's 10 times easier. If you're stupid, enjoy it. Enjoy it so much.
I will tell you, I will always sit in my fucking little gold games of Overwatch and just have fun dinking people in the head with Torbjorn than care about trying to get the plat any day of the week. And I will tell you that like, holy shit, ladders of games are phenomenal. Like cause like you said last, like people, like when you're a player in the game, you don't think about things, but like even in like other games, so like I play a lot of games that are like dead now or are going to die. I spend a lot of time playing like Fragpunk. I played a ton of Paladins. I still play Paladins from time to time. I was like top 1000 in Knockout City at one point in my life. I was like really good at the game. Everybody there infuriates me because we don't know what we're doing. We're all acting like we know what we're doing, and it would just be better if we acted on instincts and mechanics, and as opposed to trying to be like, oh, we're like so good at this. Like there's like I don't know how to put it, but there's like a mental thing where it's just like you think you're better and therefore you act like it. I don't know how to. There's definitely a term for it. I don't know what it is off the top of my head though.
Mojo? Bravado?
I don't know. Bravado
Confidence?
maybe. It's kind, but it's not even like a confidence. It's the like, I guess it's like a false confidence because it's the thing of like, well, I'm in the top, or like I'm playing in this division, or I'm surrounded by like profit. Like I should be the best player in the world. Like just because you are playing with like a bunch of people who are like, there's nothing more humbling than playing with like somebody who's like in Masters. Whenever we like group up, like and play casually, like whenever I'm playing with like Rammer, I'm always like, how is he so good without like even breaking a sweat? Like do I need to shave my head? Is like that the power? Is it just be bald? Like, is that where this goes? Like,
Bald.
is it the
helps a
power of
little
bald?
bit. It does
I
help
say
a
because
little
like I'm
bit.
already halfway there. Like I'll shave it if it gets me to fucking like play in diamond and also not break a sweat. Like that's and just be like super chill about it. Like I would love that so much. But like that's where that like that's where you see that people in like plat and diamond are like the most like obnoxious and the most like vocal about stuff. It's because they have the ego. That was the word I was thinking for. They have this ego. They have like an undeserved ego in some ways. There we go.
Nah, it's so funny because I was in gold and plat for so long, and you don't always run into those players who are just like,
Yeah. Oh, there's always.
I'm better than everyone here. Why the fuck are you guys not listening to me? It's like because of that right there. I don't want to listen to you because you're gonna say you're already better than me. Which hey, you might be. Don't fucking vocalize it once we all load in.
Because you're 0-5 and feeding, idiot. That's why. That's the other thing is I will call people out on that shit. I'm so bad. I cannot be in ranked because someone will be like, why is our tank feeding? And I'm like, motherfucker, I'm diving the Mercy Zen. The Tracer's peeling back to me and you're sitting back there on Widow complaining that you're not getting hits and complaining the tank is feeding. Motherfucker, I will get up and slap you in the neck. Get out of here.
Like have I played with you in the groups that we have with like Headrammer and all?
I think we've like once or twice, but I'm usually fairly like chill about it. I don't get that angry.
I mean, you've seen me. I just do the dumbest shit.
Oh yeah, no, I'm here to fucking do dumb shit. I'm here to make dumb choices. Like I'm currently learning Venture. There's no need to do that.
Fun hero.
There's no reason. But he's a fun, goofy hero. There's no reason. But I've been like, you know what? I'm gonna learn Venture. Like no one plays him. He eats rocks. He's probably like really easy to punish, but like fuck it. Let's learn some Venture. And I've lost so many games and but I've had fun doing it. So like I don't know, man. Like let me vibe on my little non-binary rock muncher.
Me and Starwolf, if we're ever in the same group together, just fucking around quick play, we'll do what we call casual terrorism, where she pockets me as Widowmaker.
Oh god, that's awful.
I can't aim.
Oh god.
Yeah, it's bad.
I feel it spiritually. That's okay.
It's fun. Like hell, I fucking one trick Sim to get out gold.
Sim. I know you're on this train, Dex. I think Sim is way better. Think about it.
Yes.
How much pro play is she getting right now that she is like, not to dig too much into that shit, but like she's getting so much pro play. She's getting actual visibility. She used to be just like a niche thing, but like maybe this is my gold ass take, but like I do think she actually has more value than people like want to admit, if for no other reason than just because she's been slowly like ticked up in damage and stuff. So like I do think like much like a lot of casters and like people who work behind the scenes or around that, like don't sleep on a lot of those people because there's so much like skill that you don't necessarily see.
Yeah. I will always argue. I'll always argue Sim should be played a little bit more. You can always teleporter being an ability makes it a lot more interesting.
Oh man. Go ahead, Megan.
No. I have a truth nuke coming, but I want you to finish your thought first.
All right, I was gonna say one of my favorite gigs of all time. When I was just taking my first steps out of CGL, I had a semi-long-time partner, play-by-play partner at the time, and there was an org called Volpine Esports. They're still around, but they're not in Overwatch currently. They were looking to get James just casted. They, it was free, not paying. And I was like, you know what? I need to expand out. I wanted to try to get my name out there. Sure, let's do this. And this was like still when Open Division was a thing. So we would do their runs through Open Division. And they were a team that played only Rhine, Symmetra, Cassidy, it was Lucio, and I think it was... but it was like a rush comp, but it was like they only ever played. It was like where people were playing like May comps, like they would only play Sim, and it was just such a fucking joy to watch them because they'd have like a high noon up, and suddenly you'd see like Cassidy high nooning from the top of like Ilios ruins, and nobody would know what they're doing. There were teleport shatters and like teleport charges like no one saw coming, and it was just the most entertaining fucking Overwatch I've ever seen and casted in my life. So like if for no other reason, like you can drop your nuke bomb about how she sucks. If no other reason, she's fucking entertaining to watch because you never know what's gonna happen.
Christ, Hunter, that photo's huge.
I love that photo so much. I share it all the time.
Yeah. Oh God. Oh.
Actual Overwatch 1 territory is what it was.
But see, I would go back to this in a heartbeat, though. See, like, I say what you will, but like, I'd go back to this in a heartbeat. I think
it felt more silly in a way.
Okay, but
Yeah.
here's the thing.
Okay.
Like, because now this is going to be two truth nukes, right? Pull that
That's fine,
image
go
back
ahead.
up. No, pull that image
One
back up. This is
second. One
important.
second.
It's a good image. It's a pretty good image, you know.
This
it's not
image,
look. It's not the San Francisco Shock one. I'll take that.
No, it's
no. But this image was not the end of Overwatch 1.
No, it
Double
wasn't. You're right.
Shield died in like 2020.
Yep.
When they nerfed the fuck out of
Yeah.
both Sig and Orisa Shield, as well as Sigma's overall capabilities.
yeah.
Because that was when that was the rock nerf, that was everything. This was not Overwatch 1. Overwatch 1 at the end was such an amazing fucking game.
That's why you got one patch.
Would you be surprised to know that this photo was taken, in fact, in 2021? Would that surprise you at all?
No.
I mean, they're playing in a suboptimal combat. Do you see how the other two... Actually, no, because this has to be open... Oh, no, wait. I really saw a Doomfist and said there's 3 tanks. Wow.
Yeah,
he was. Yeah, I
Is
said
this-
that once
is
upon a
this
time.
CGL game?
Once upon a time.
I was the DPS Doom player. I remember this. The fact that I forgot it makes me upset.
Yeah, this is Hunter. Yeah,
Survivor?
But listen,
Yeah, this is OG Get Good. That's what this is.
nah,
Okay.
this like genuinely the double shield was overhyped, rightfully hated, but like beyond everyone's like, guys, it's double shield forever. Goats lasted a year and a half. Double shield was maybe 6 months, if that.
Yeah.
And it was directly after Goats where people were looking for state comps. And that's all it was. Noted, but like, but beyond that, right? As well, this ties into my other truth nuke. The actual like get in the shelter, shit's going to go down. Fucking people who bitch about double shield, goats, new metas, fucking all this shit. They're like, oh, this character's not meta. This character's doing this. This character's doing that. Doug, you're looking at fucking ranked play. Nobody gives a shit what you are playing in anything Masters and below. Masters and below, you can lock any fucking hero and be fine. And this comes as the #1 Mercy and Lifeweaver hater, which Lifeweaver's gotten some good buffs, so he's actually really fucking good now. But as the #1 Mercy hater, Doug, lock whatever the fuck you want in ranked. It does not matter. Your hero choice is not going to determine anything. How you play your hero is going to determine more than anything else, okay? So if you're sitting here bitching like, oh my goodness, I can't win because of all these Widow players. No, you're dog shit, all right? You have to fucking fix it. It's not some meta problem. You're the problem. Fix your shit.
You know, I part of me wants to slightly disagree because I've seen there have been moments where like there have been moments where characters have been like pick this or lose. There are straight up there are some times where it's straight up like do X or your game is just significantly harder, but I can't really disagree with you. I really
only
can't.
time I would believe that argument in any rank that was below GM. The only time I would believe that mindset was launch Malga. Launch Malga, 100% and 10%. I agree. At any elo,
Did you play Launch Brig? Did you play Launch Brig at all?
Okay, yes, because that. No shit. Fucking listen. We've all seen the Mangachu video. We all fucking. No. I was the Brig player. Okay, I was playing Brig. Trying to come from bronze to gold, and guess what? That's how I got to gold from bronze when I first switched to PC. Was playing fucking Brig, but again, the point being, sometimes short that like in those very rare specific instances, the game is like, hey, if you pick this hero, you win. If the other team has not picked that hero, you don't need to pick that hero. But overall, it is just sometimes the devs they get a little quirky. They do a little too much. Hazard was almost there. Hazard was almost there for a bit, but thankfully we pulled him back.
Yeah, I would be inclined to agree with that, and I think that's something in my I think that's something you learn as you kind of play it. Like you said, like because you play at higher levels, so you like see that and you have that take. But I think even in like having done some like vague ass game development stuff, like you kind of see that like like you said, it doesn't really matter. You just kind of do your thing, and everything should work out okay. Particularly like that. That's why Dex and I can get away with just running sim down main and just going on it. Like that's exactly why that works. Is because we just can.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Go for
And
it. Have your fun.
No,
Yeah.
my favorite thing is when people get mad about that shit, though. Nothing brings me so much more joy than watching people tilt because they're like, "What are you doing using this character in the game? What are you playing Bastion for? That's so cheap." It's a character in the game.
Why are you playing this character the devs put in the game for you to play?
If they didn't want me to
you.
play it, it would have been taken out. Do I need to break a shield? I'm gonna go to Bastion. I'm gonna go to Sim. I'm gonna bring a hammer to a nail problem. Yeah.
Motherfucker said break a shield with. I guess there's technically 2 shields in the game, 3 if you want to count Orisa getting a major perk.
But like, okay, well, it did used to be a problem, but like they're not that we see Ryan anymore, but like, yeah, but like but that's like how this game is supposed to, like that's how games are supposed to work. There's always supposed to be multiple answers to problems at different levels. So like your low problem, your like gold bronze answer is Bastion. Like you're just supposed to like you spin the wheels, you spin the Gatling, you break the shield, and you go in. What's your high level answer? It's something like a Sojourn or like a Cass or like a Freya, or you just you go around like a Tracer. Like it's all about how you take it. And Overwatch admittingly does that kind of interestingly, where they give you different levels, like tiers of difficulty to try to solve those problems.
I know we've just completely derailed this into talking about like the design of the game, and I know Dex wants to get
That's
off
fine.
of it, but like
That's
I need to say this point as well. Like
Go for it.
people who are like, I would say golden below, possibly even platinum below, y'all are not playing the same game. Like you guys see a Tracer maybe 1 in every 50 games, and you're like, man, it's a Tracer. I don't really care. She's just kind of shooting from 8 miles away because the Tracer's dog shit. Because it's that rank, and that's okay. That Tracer's probably having the time of her life. That's all that matters. But like, it's just such a different game, depending on your rank and stuff. And so people who try to be like a one solution fits all, or try to force metas in ranked, like guys, we have to go dive comp. We're on Dorado. We need Winston, Tracer, Juno break backline. If we don't have Juno break backline, we loot. Like, shut the fuck up. You're wrong. It doesn't fucking matter. The other team's walking out of their spawn, probably singing some song together in VC, because they're just having fun.
Shout out.
Well, Mega. Mega. We can all agree on one thing across all the ranks: Sombra sucks, and we don't want to play against her. I think she's fine. Yeah, I just laugh because she has I just laugh because she has a 75% ban rate. I don't get it. Dude, whatever. I don't get it.
I get it. The one I don't get is Zarya. The amount of hatred on Zarya.
She's a pub stomper.
Yeah.
She's a pub stomper. That's all it is.
I love that Zarya's voice actress like showed up for the first time ever that I've seen her, just to make videos about it. I love it so much.
I don't get the Zarya hate.
She's just a pub stomper.
There are way better tanks to ban, though. There are way better ones to ban.
But she runs through because people in Gold and Below
don't have more than half a brain cell. Is why
they don't.
I have to shoot the bubble. It's there. It's something that is shiny. I must shoot it. Like
it's that simple.
In the brain.
The Junkrat player asking, "Why is Zarya got so much energy, man?"
Yeah. No, it's straight up that Gold and Below don't understand how to play against it well enough, and the Zarya gets run through. D.Va being the next one that but D.Va I actually agree with as like one of the other high ban rates, because D.Va has been. Well, this will be. We can eventually get back on track for Dex, but like D.Va is a terrorist incarnate because she has literally been in meta and been so strong across Overwatch 1 to Overwatch 2, still gets play across the ways, and is just an absolute nightmare to play against. So that one I agree with.
D.Va is so fucked in like ranked and quick play and stuff.
Yes.
Purely for the fact, like in a team environment, she's not going to get as much value in all the time. But like in like specifically quick play and ranked, if a D.Va decides that you are going to die, that is the end of the decision. Yeah. She's flying at you with 700 HP, full defense matrix to eat anything you were attempting to do. It doesn't matter what your movement abilities are. She's got boosters on a 3-second cooldown. She'll be there. Like, she is end all be. If she decides that you were going to die, even if it costs her the game,
you are going to not have fun. She will make sure you do not have fun.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't blame the bands on her whatsoever.
All right.
She's Hunter starts
agree.
talking. All right, guys, time to move on.
No, you're good. No,
here's the thing. I'm fine with what just happened. Because like I will always say this, and if you go back and watch the pod review, I always feel bad when it's just myself and the guest who are talking about 90% of the time. So anytime Hunter and Mega are actively like talking, I think it's great. It's awesome. But I'm also sitting here like, this is not the way I thought this episode would go. I want to ask, a couple other questions, but you're like,
that's fine.
But like, we're on a tangent here and we're all talking. I'm like, this is great.
One of the most difficult things, Dex, as someone who also ran a podcast for several years, the hardest thing to do is get horses back in the row, and number 2, just stay on tangents. So enough talking about Overwatch characters. Let's talk about me, goddammit.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, look at you.
The horses were not in a row from the start of this thing. Okay.
No, they never were.
We somehow got 2 back together at some point, but those have now just disappeared.
That's fine.
There might be a horse in the horizon, but it's probably not staring at us.
Yeah, I ain't worried about it. But yeah, no, I want to hear your other questions, Dex, because I do genuinely care. I can bitch about Overwatch characters all the time, but like, no, I want to hear your questions too.
Well, I want to ask more about like, working in other games outside of Overwatch. Yeah, you said most of them are shooters, but you have TFT, you have Mario Kart, and Mario Kart's the one I kind of want to focus. What the fuck, Hunter?
Yeah, that's what happened, man. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't something. Yeah.
I'm just gonna.
Anyway, you should just flash this on screen whenever they get too far on the tangent. Just horse privileges revoked. just take those away.
I want to talk about a little bit here. Just what you do with Mario Kart and a game like TFT where there is. Fucking hell! Well, there is a certainty of RNG thrown into it, and yeah, there's RNG a little bit, I guess, in Overwatch because hell, we've seen it before where teams are just like playing mystery heroes at points. But in a game like TFT, where I'm pretty sure there is a decent amount of RNG, Mario Kart, it is all RNG outside of some decent driving. Was it like to kind of have to maneuver around casting and working in those games where you have to kind of always have present like RNG is gonna just screw this up at some point?
So the one thing you have to do after, and this was something I actually posed to a couple of the TFT guys, is how do you like deal? How do you go into a game knowing like things are never going to be the same? And what you do is then just you just kind of commentate why it worked out that way. So in Mario Kart, there's a proven thing where like if you are in the back of the pack, you will get better items. If you are at the front of the pack, you will get things like coins, bananas, and things like that. What you get is that. But how you manage that is you kind of say, all right, there is a randomness. How are the players preparing for this randomness? Or what are they doing to use that in their favor? There's a term in Mario Kart specifically made up. I think it was Mankalore who does it. Great guy, by the way. If you don't know him, he's a fantastic Mario Kart. He's like the car Q of Mario Kart. He's a great dude. Goofy as hell, but a great guy. Called bagging. And what it literally is you start the race, you get to the first set of items, and then you just stop. You let everybody pass, you let that work, and you play the randomness. Then you start collecting items. And then you do part 2 of this, which is called smuggling, which is then you get back in the race once you have your good items and just outrace everybody to the front of the pack and carry those and smuggle them up into the higher ranks, where then you should be able to use them defensively or as you need to. So it's then becomes our job as casters in production to show like how are they abusing the randomness or what are they getting to us. One of my favorite mechanics in TFT similarly is there's always in the past like several sets there is a they call them different things, but there is a like setup, there's a board state where it's all lose a bunch of games and then get rewarded all at once for losing a bunch, and then you just kind of like catapult up to the first place. And it's basically what you have to do is kind of discuss like how are they using this randomness, how are they using what is going in their way? Why are they throwing all these fights? Why are they losing all these, why are they not building up their units? Why are they not, slamming items together in TFT's case? And how are they then using that to kind of plan down the line? Oh, well, they're saving up 100 gold because they know they're going to try to get a overpowered unit, an overpowered like 4-cost, 5-cost unit. So they need all the money. And it becomes then explaining how the randomness works in their favor, or what they're doing to try to control the randomness, or how does the randomness, kind of what can happen, and then playing off of that. It's a lot of what if, but it sets a lot of cool story points to be like, if this goes off, they're the hero of the day. If this goes awful, they're the clown. They straight up clown themselves, and we can all laugh at them. And that's just kind of the way it is. So it's very interesting, but once you kind of understand how the randomness works, you can kind of add that into your storytelling, which is not an easy thing to do.
I would imagine just randomness in any kind of story is something that's very, very difficult. I mean, it's even something like we get very little in Overwatch, just with people popping off, but like having to do with in something like Mario Kart or something like TFT, where it's kind of a built-in part of the game, like you kind of already said, there's strategies around just sucking for the first part of things to try to turn around in the end and win. It's very, very interesting because like you can't do that in almost any other esport. You can't do that in Overwatch. You can't do that in Valorant.
Well, you used to be able to do that in Overwatch, but we kind of ruined that. So, so what you're describing is what's called in game development as a catch-up mechanic. So when you're far behind, it, like you said, it gives you some sort of advantage. What that used to be in Overwatch was ultimates. It used to be you take more damage, you get that healed up. It catapults your ability to have ultimates. Then you use your ultimates to propel the fight. And then we got to GOATs. So we kind of lost a lot of that. You still do have it, but it's not nearly as prominent as like you take a bunch of take damage and suddenly like you'll have primal to fight it back. We lost a lot of that earlier, but like that kind of catch-up mechanic is something that you can account for in pretty much most games, especially fighters too. That's where things like I don't think any of you play Tekken.
I've been very interested.
Okay, so in Tekken, there's straight up mechanics where it's like, oh, if you are getting like beat up, you have like an ability to smash a button and like get power up to your damage and like get like advantage and like speed and stuff like that, where they give you those abilities to do it, but you can only get that meter to fill if you take damage. So it's a kind of a universal thing, but Overwatch unfortunately just kind of beat that down because everybody hated it. Everybody hated that. Everybody hated the kind of swinginess of it. And say what you will, but knowing it, but it comes down to knowing those mechanics and knowing how they work for players, because things like Mario Kart, it's how you abuse them. It's how you get the top players bringing 3 red shells into first place because they sat in 8th for a minute and then, just blew past everybody because they know the course better.
All this Mario Kart talk is making me sad. I just want to play Mario Kart World.
If it's any consolation, Mario Kart World is perfectly fine. I'm not hearing anything that's like groundbreaking about it.
Okay, you have to realize I'm a Mario Kart addict, and so just seeing everyone play World. Also, I do not know if y'all may have seen this, but on Twitter, I thought I was like, oh my goodness, I actually won one of the 19 million giveaways. But it turned out to be a scam, and I was so fucking sad. I thought that finally my luck had done something, but then I got rolled, and thankfully I didn't get scammed out of money, but I was just so fucking sad. I was like, aw.
If it's any consolation, I can't find one either. I've been to a total of like 6 GameStops, like 3 Walmarts, and I'm also poor, but like, yeah, it's Hunter. You can't post that. I'm gonna have one after this now, but like, you can't post that shit. You can't post that shit for me.
That was Joker.
But I almost actually cracked one going into this, but I was like, I don't know what I should be.
Joker
ready for,
posted that. He's not even.
Joker. Why did Joker post that? Oh, I thought it was Hunter. Why is Joker? What is Joker doing?
Joker shows up here from time to time.
All right. Can I take Dex? Can I have 1 minute before we get back on track with your questions? Can I have a minute to dunk on Joker?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Joker's red sub. Are you recording? Are you pinging him?
Nah. Posted a quick gift.
I'm writing down this is a potential clip material.
Joker, calm down, bud. I get it. We all love you. You're great. Calm down, dude. Just take it down. You're always at like a 10 or an 8. Your insults always miss. Just take it down, bro. Just be why can't you just be normal? That's literally all I'm asking. Bro, if the next time I cast with you, just be normal. Please, I beg of you.
Something about the
Yo,
Yankees.
Dex. Fucking name of the episode is Truth Nukes Are Being Fucking Deployed. Holy shit.
No, I do love. In all seriousness, I do love Joker. He's a great dude. He's very much just constantly. I love Joker. He's a good dude, but he can absolutely be. I can see how he can wear on people in time. I can wear on people. I wear on people all the fucking time. I get it. So I fucking get it.
I was just gonna say, Joker is to you what Fletch is to me.
Yeah.
So if I've somehow convinced these two to spend every Monday of this year so far doing this podcast.
Look, I call that net win. Dex, you say that like you're so unlikable. Go fuck yourself. Fuck yourself for being mean for yourself.
Yeah, dude, this dude's so likable, and I think
he doesn't realize it. I literally chose to spend like 3 or 4 of my nights with you every single fucking week. I made that decision.
Stop fucking bullying yourself, Dex. Fuck. It's a funny bit for a point. It's a funny bit to a point. Fuck you. We all love you. Stop it.
I've told you guys where I went a little bit too far with it once, right?
Yes, I think I remember that moment.
With Light Rose and CB.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
The one time I ever tried to host, I bullied myself so hard that I made them feel bad for me. Like actually, and I felt so bad after. When I met CB for the first time at DreamHack Dallas, I actually apologized to her for a couple minutes. I don't think she remembered that at all.
Me, the average millennial.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything wrong with occasional self-bullying, because at that point, I put it more over the class of like humility, which I think is a healthy thing to have. But there's an extent.
Yeah. No, I think there is a level of bravado, and I think there's a level of confidence that we all should have. And I think there's a point where you need that. Like, if you ever see me, because you guys have seen this, where I'll come up into like a CGL chat and I'll talk a bunch of big fucking game. I'm doing it. It's all a fucking show. Every time I'm like the villain, it's all for fucking show. Like I'm usually just like, how do I pick? Usually it's just like, what is the most entertaining thing we can do? And this is most of the time, like, what is my brain doing? What is the most entertaining thing I can do? Is it piss somebody off for the content of other people to laugh at? Yes. Then like, I'll dunk on whoever's around, even if it's me.
I got a lot of good options for clips from this.
You got I told you, dude. Bring me on for part 2. We'll keep this going.
Hey, we are nearing the episode number where I told them, like, once we hit this one, I'm perfectly fine bringing people back.
Mega,
did you?
No, back to me. Fuck that. No, back to me. Dex, next question. Let's go. Fuck that. Fuck her. Let's go. Next question.
All right, y'all got it. I'm
Jesus.
Oh.
I can't get out of frame.
Like I said, I didn't expect this episode necessarily to go like this, but I'm not mad about it. I actually really like this one. Okay, but so at the start when we were talking about you kind of doing a lot of these Nintendo games and them being grassroots, the fuck did Hunter go?
He also pieced out Winston as my co-host now.
Winton. But like,
I believe.
But you're talking about doing like a lot of the grassroots stuff and that kind of scene in general. When you go from maybe something like Splatoon, like Mario Kart, I want to say TFT is big because it has to do with League of Legends. I was gonna say since I haven't heard that much about it, I imagine it's still small. But when you go back to something like CGL occasionally, like, what's the kind of like biggest takeaway you get from doing all those grassroots stuff and then going back to something maybe a little bit bigger like CGL, or something like, you've been to these lands. Granted, it has been for those games that you consider to be grassroots, but what's the main difference between going back and forth between true grassroots and maybe a little bit more organized grassroots?
So I'll do you one even better. So like, I can tell you that I've spent several seasons working with NECC. They are a fantastic collegiate group. I do Overwatch for them. Please bring me back for next season. I think about all the flexing I did, guys. Anyway, like they are great. They are all fantastic. It's with Hippie and a couple other people who are all very professional. There is something in the grassroots water that is just, I don't want to say like fun. I will say that like when I've done NECC, when I've done like big LAN events for them, it's all very professional. It's very much like show up, kind of do your job, have fun, laugh along with it, and like enjoy it. But it's all very like we do things XYZ way. It is the most professional way. Where like I go to Splatoon, they don't use cameras. First of all, like most Splatoon places do not use cameras. So like there's no video. Like they just kind of show up and it's like, hey, we're recording out of Discord, but like we have the most like insane level of like stuff. The ingenuity that comes from like the grassroots scene to make unique setups, to work around problems or things that they don't feel are different. Like there's no observer for Mario Kart. So how do they make it work? They send the fucking producer in a cart in and just like he races and we kind of just like follow him along and go along. Or if I'm at like a LAN for Mario Kart, he has like a full like dude's got like a fucking insane box that just is 12 capture cards, like 24 capture cards that he just plugs them all into. Yeah, it's actually nuts. Remind me, I'll take a picture. I have the summer LAN for Mario Kart coming up soon in New England. I'll take a picture of this dude's rig. It's insane. But there's just so much more ingenuity to solve problems. I see even in like the Splatoon Discord, production Discord, they are passing along like a million different OBS plugins, tons of different like sheets, all that do what Hippie can do in vMix in like 3 seconds. But he doesn't do it. So it's one of those cases where the ingenuity and the like mood of like the grassroots scene is always just so much more, you know, they want to put on a good show. They want to be fun. They're doing it out of the passion. Whereas not that like NECC doesn't have the passion or doesn't have that, but they are very much selling the product. They are very much a professional organization selling the product. So there's a little bit of like a gap that like the grassroots just kind of, they're there for the love, they're there for the fun. Whereas like the higher end productions, they're there to put on a show and it will be a good show. You know what you're getting. The consistency varies for grassroots, but it's always fun. It's always enjoyable. And you never really know what you're getting into. Sometimes you're showing it to a cast and it's straight up watching some dude in Discord. Sometimes it's a video ninja, and sometimes I'm casting Mario Kart from Zoom. Like who knows? It's whatever it takes to get it working.
Yeah, and like that's especially like when I first got into casting Overwatch stuff. Like I had those like same kind of situations where like, hey, yeah you're gonna be like you're gonna have to be in the game. You're gonna have to be in the game. And it's like, it's what I do with Hunter when me and him do Face It right now. It's basically going back to how I was casting games when I first started, where third person cam as high as I can go. That's how I'm gonna be casting it. Which like that's the behind the scenes. Hunter's the first person one. Me and him, because when we did Face It the first week, I lost his feed at some point. We decided that I had to start getting in there and observing as well. So like I'll start talking about something that Hunter has no like, it's hard for him to kind of go to, because I'll start talking about something I saw from the sky about like, oh yeah, this fight that happened over here was so important, but I know Hunter was probably not focused in on that one.
Yeah, like, it's like you'll normally hear me talk about the people I'm like on, and if I see you start talking about a specific fight or especially a specific player, my ass goes F4, 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 go swap, go now, go, go.
Yep.
Because I'm trying to cast on top of essentially self-producing and self-observing, and I'm like, damn, my ass is not built for this.
Nope, it is. The Wild West days of CGL, when it was 3 people, when you maybe had 2 to 3 people, and one of them was like dual like observing, was that shit's crazy. That I don't envy you guys for doing that, but I will give it to Hunter. I think doing it in first person is easier than the third person, just leaving a third person view. I think it's much easier to just kind of jump player to player as you need it, especially as a caster, but to each their own.
Yeah, like the one time that I actually like hosted a stream, I had Mega there casting with me, and I only did first person. Like the only time I do third person would be like in between rounds, but it would also be like I'm holding down tab so you can see it, and I'm using a controller in my other hand to move around the map, but it's staying at like ground level the entire time.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
But like, I really want to see one of these Mario Kart lands in person. I feel like or Mario Kart or Splatoon, because I feel like it would just be a wild thing to see in person. Just because it's like so rare to see it.
The Splatoon, there are actually, God, there's fucking Splatoon lands everywhere. Most of them are in the Midwest, like Sandusky, Ohio area. A lot of them come to the major cons. I think Riptide just passed.
Fucking Hunter, that's Hunter's area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude.
I was
Oh, yeah.
I
Yeah,
was
you
there
were
like
at
2 weeks ago. I was
yeah.
literally there.
Yeah, Riptide is one of the like 3 crowns of like the Splatoon grassroots like scenes. They do a
That's
lot
right.
of them there. MomoCon was huge for Mario Kart, but like there's just, you have to find the resources, you have to kind of know. The other problem with the grassroots is it's mostly hidden because a lot of these players don't. The photo I found from Splatoon is a lot of them don't want you to know, which is really interesting. But yeah, like in the Midwest too. Mangalore's out of the Midwest actually, Hunter, so you can connect with him, and he runs stuff out of like Columbus and that area. So if you ever want to see what a Mario Kart land looks like, go find him on Twitch. Yeah, hit him up. But it's yeah, it is a whole other, like, they are there. They are mostly at big cons, but like there are all kinds of those things. And I will say I've not been to a Splatoon like LAN yet, but I will say the Mario Kart ones they're crazy. They're chaos, but they're fun.
I would imagine they're really fun. What's the like? I know it's probably not invitation. It's probably like, hey, show up, sign up. What's the normal like entry, or like not pay entry, but like how many people normally sign up?
It kind of depends. I will tell you that like they did one down at GameCon in Connecticut about a year ago. We had about 20 entrants, and it was primarily like New England, New York, New Jersey area. I will tell you, when they did the Winter Cup for more like a Mario Kart season or something, it was closer to like 30. So I would say it's probably like a combination of like some seasoned pros and some like just whoever happens to be in the area and like happens to be nearby to come up and say. Tends to be about 20 people, 20 to 40 people, depending on how many it is. But I will tell you, like, 2 of the like Mario Kart World Champions showed up. If you know our boy HB Bowsy, also winner of a Mario Kart event there. He's also one of the like prominent Mario Kart. If you really want to do an episode on like Mario Kart, go to him. He knows way more. But like I said, like 2 like the 20-person one in Connecticut that like at like a con nobody attended. Like 2 of the like world champions played in Nintendo events showed up and like dominated, and like we're fighting neck and neck the whole way through. So it's like it's really a mixed bag of like regions. Like we've also had people who flew out from the Midwest because like it was a Mario Kart land and I want to do this. So there's like dedication, but it's also kind of like a mixed bag of just pros and whoever's there.
Yeah. I gotta find one down here. I know you said MomoCon, and I know that's Atlanta.
Yeah.
But like MomoCon shows at the worst possible time of the year for me and my work.
Yeah,
it really
it's also incredibly busy.
It's also downtown fucking Atlanta.
Yeah.
Which, especially in the summer, like I don't want to pay that. But Hunter, Mega, do you guys have any questions for Soav here?
I'm gonna answer it first this time, since I always I'm like, man, let me think about it. Let me throw Megalass on the spot. Also, I'll take that link. Boop.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Oh shit! I need to actually think of something.
It's okay. Do we need some more nukes? I can drop more nukes.
No. You can drop more nukes. I was gonna drop some basic ass questions.
Wait, well Hunter,
I'll drop a nuke and give you some time.
Well, here,
I'll drop a nuke and give you some time if you want.
I'll ask a fun one.
Yeah.
Just
Thank you.
mainly for me.
Sure.
While they think, what the hell is the Splatoon meta?
What is the Splatoon meta?
Yeah.
So currently the Splatoon meta right now is it's kind of in a odd sustain place right now. So I'm going to use a bunch of words for non-Splatoon players. You can look them all up. They're very simple. I promise if the like 20-something-year-old kids that play Splatoon can do this, you can too. So it's all based around the cooler right now. So it's a combination of usually pencil, is like your back to midliner of choice, while you usually have something like a duels or a slosher to carry, and be your slayer in the front line, with the premise that kind of like in most sustain, like Overwatch sustain kind of a metas, like you build cooler, and then once you build cooler, you pop it, everybody gets their soda, and then you push, with the idea that even if your push fails, you will immediately be able to reinitiate the fight faster, and then overwhelm that way. The kind of exception to that is like, so you don't necessarily play pencil on some maps because it's not wide enough or long enough. So you'll play something that like is an end zap. I actually, having seen all the new weapons, I'm a firm believer in the 1 gallon adjustment that's coming up. I think 1 gallon, the 1 gallon weapon that just dropped with cooler and what do they have? Oh, it had angle shooter. Angle shooter sucks, but it's great at denying space and it's great at blocking off lanes. I genuinely think that has a chance to make an impact where you don't want to play that, but it's generally like you pick something that has like a medium range or something supportive that puts down paint, build that, and then kind of go from there. And it's a long sustained game. So everything else around it is kind of whatever. You want something like a Slayer, usually. You want something that has like a sword, katana, slosher, bucket's usually okay. And then your like mid support that goes with it is usually something like, I don't know. A lot of people just play like splatter shots. I don't really like that. I think that's kind of boring. I think we're kind of just playing for like, you play for like bazooka just to kind of get one shot potential, but it's not really worth it. But it's basically, do you have cooler? If yes, did you win the cooler fight and did you build first?
Right.
I'm gonna remember all that information.
I say, and for everybody who's never played Splatoon in their life, lots of ink go burr.
Play Splatoon. Fun game.
Play Splatoon. It's actually a really fun game. Even if you don't play the PvP, the PvE is great. There's like whole ass campaign sections that are super fun. There's a roguelike in it too. Y'all motherfuckers love roguelikes. Y'all, I know people love roguelikes. There's a roguelike in it too. It's fun as fuck. Go try the game. It's genuinely a decent game.
Shout out Side Order. Really fun.
Side Order is great.
I honestly think like Octo expansion was in Splatoon 2 was probably one of my favorite DLCs I've ever played. Okay, away from that, Hunter, your question.
Yeah.
Okay, so the question I've come to the conclusion of, since we talked about Splatoon and we talked about these games anyway, you talked previously about playing in Overwatch and kind of doing that. As long as my brain is not allowing me to forget this, we didn't talk about a ton about you actually playing these games. So have like you competed in like tournaments or things like Splatoon and like other games of the like previously, or is it just a thing where you enjoy casting it more than actually like giving a shot at competing once in a while?
So I've never formally competed in Splatoon, mostly because I've just never really like cared enough to. It's a fun game. It was always my like calm, like I'm gonna play a shooter game and just like vibe. It was always my like vibe shooter. So when like opportunities came to play, it was always just kind of like whatever. Also, my weapon pool in that game is atrocious. Dex, I'm an undercover Brella and sniper player, so I fit in nowhere.
Roller.
If you play Carbon, you could be a Slayer. You're fine. But like I Splatoon, I never really have. Overwatch, I've done a couple on and off ones. I've done a couple, and I was actually going to jump into one of the Aegis TFT leagues. I'm like gold to plat mostly because I don't care enough to grind the ladder. But I've said this all the time when I cast TFT. I'm too stupid for this game. I just like to spend gold and make units fight each other, and it's fun. And I would sign up just to play, but like watching these dudes just like whacking each other is just plenty fun for me. I think I kind of alluded to this. I did used to play a lot of Knockout City. The competition just kind of never really came for some of those dead games like that one. But if anybody is looking for like a gold to plat tier like tank for Overwatch, sure. If you want like a mid-tier support player in Splatoon, fuck it, man, let's vibe. If you want like what the fuck else am I playing now? If you want like if you want a really good pathogen in Fragpunk, I'm sold. Like I'm good. I'm very good at that. I can play a very good Sentinel in Valorant and Fragpunk. So I'm your boy. I'm your boy in Golden Under.
The one thing I'll say about Fragpunk is I know you immediately shared it with me when a character named Dex was added to it.
Yes.
I hate that it's a wolf man.
No, he's a lizard man.
Okay, never mind. I thought it was.
He looks like a wolf. He's a lizard man. No, he's a lizard man.
Okay,
Uh,
I'll take that then.
it's okay. Fragpunk is just goofy Valorant, and that's all it needs to be. That's all. It's going to be gone in a year. We'll forget it anyways. It's gone in the right amount of time. It'll be gone in the right amount of time.
It was a vibe. It vibed,
Yeah.
and it'll eventually vibe itself to death.
Yep. Just like Foam Stars, it'll eventually just fade itself out, and that's what it needs to do.
The moment that Ubisoft was attached to that was the moment it died. Okay.
Damn.
Fair.
All right. Mega. Do you have a question? Do you want to ask the question? Do you have a new question?
True.
No, we're not acknowledging last week. We're not. It didn't happen. It didn't happen. You're
That's
not
valid.
ruining my bit. This is all I have.
Okay.
All right. This is literally how we end the episode. So you need to be locked in. Best question.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So listen.
Get this set up.
You're a fellow old head like myself.
Yep.
We're ancient. We're decrepit.
Yep.
Do you ever watch Blue's Clues?
All the time. I actually know Josh.
Wait.
Yeah, I went to college with Josh.
The fuck.
Yeah, he was in my college singing, one of my college singing classes. He was great. He's a cool dude. He's fantastic.
I don't know how to react to this.
How is this
He's a very cool dude.
How is this 2 straight weeks where we're gonna get this question? Like the question's not gonna be the most important thing anymore.
Wait, that's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. He was. I was in a couple of singing classes. We were both singing. He was theater. He was a theater major. I was a music therapy major, and we had a couple. What's called a music practicum, which is basically like go learn stuff, perform for your peers, and go get critiqued. He was phenomenal. Awesome dude, stellar dude. Coached me a couple times. Josh rules. Josh fucking is awesome.
Apparently that bum.
Oh, it's this question. Yeah, it's this question. Yep.
Yeah, it's this.
Okay.
See, no. See,
you can phrase the question. I kind of know where you're going, but go ahead. No, I don't know the question. No, we're gonna say. Go ahead and ask the question because as is tradition, go ahead.
So that fucker right there, Mr. Salt, you see him, right?
Yep.
What would be your reaction to the information that he is listed as the landlord of the house where it all takes place?
I mean, obviously he's making enough bread, so I see no reason not to let that. Look, somebody's got to own that house, and if it comes down to a little salt shaker, that seems legit. I mean, he is a family man, as we all know, down the road. So it makes total sense. He obviously has enough to raise a family in this economy. Of course, the house is in, and it would make sense, right? Because Steve, Josh, all these other humans that are in his life, they're obviously just like the nannies. So I don't it's surprising, but at the same time, no, that checks out. This is just their house. They're the family, and everybody else is just like their caretakers and distractions. Yeah, I buy it. It's a weird piece of lore, but
I'm baffled. I'm just baffled.
It's a weird piece of lore, but yeah.
How the fuck am I asking? This is an esports focused podcast where I decided this would be a funny bit, a question to ask people, and 2 weeks in a row, I am up fucking stage. What the fuck this? No, I'm leaving. I'm actually leaving.
All right, I'll use the next minute to fill
not.
while last leads with this.
Fuck everybody.
Mega's
I'm done with
actually
this
leaving.
shit. Fuck that.
That's fine. So
Actually gone.
Here's a bit of lore for you also, for while Mega's leaving and eventually comes back. I've always said, and if you've ever talked to me, my other name, if I didn't use this collection of words, was going to be famous by proxy, because I have met and stumbled across so many famous people and places. I used to work in a very famous burger shack when I was in my teens. I've met Josh. I know people that I know people that are like, if any of you know Distant Worlds, the music group for Final Fantasy. If that means anything, I know a couple famous musicians. I have 2 Grammy nominations that never went anywhere. I have been so close and surrounded by people that are actually famous that it's fucking hilarious that I am still this fucking schlub. So I don't know, man. I don't know how to explain it other than just that's been my life, is just kind of knowing famous people and being that. And now Hunter's gone. So Winston, thank you for listening to me. Thank you, Winton. Well, it's just me and you, Dex. We run the podcast now.
Yeah. What the fuck? If you told me at the start of this episode, especially after the fucking start of this episode, where we would be, what we would have talked about, I would have not believed you. Oh my goodness, man! You might have given us one of the best episodes of this podcast.
You never know who you meet on the internet, man. We are all incredible people with stories to tell and lives to share, and you guys are the ones just keeping us and giving us the space to do it. So thank you for that, Dex and Mega and Hunter, if y'all actually are listening. Oh, Dex is fading back in. The Ghost of Huntertain, thank you for also giving me the space.
Fucking fading back in. Oh dear God!
It's the reverse piece.
Coming back from the
I can't
beyond
believe you
realm.
I can't believe you, Josh.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Josh is a cool dude. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, like Mega said, when she started that bit, I don't think she ever expected that. Especially after last week where we went down the fucking rabbit hole of it all. But so thank you so much, man.
Pleasure's mine, guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on. Like we kind of mentioned earlier, once we hit that number where we're gonna start asking people to come back on, I imagine you'll be back on at some point. Because
I look forward to it. I look forward to it, man.
There's a lot more to talk about, especially with some of the other games that you do, because we haven't had people on who have done a lot of those other games that you cover just yet. So getting in more about that will be really fun.
Yeah.
The second time around. But everyone, that will do it this week for this episode of For the Love of Prod. Hunter, thank you so much. Mega, I don't know if she's actually here, but thank her for always being here. Yeah, honestly, I would have left if I was her too. But that will do it for this week's episode of For the Love of Prod. Make sure you tune back in next week for, as always, another great episode of I don't know who will be, not yet. I'll hopefully figure it out before Sunday, which I keep saying every week, but it's always Sunday. But yeah, make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Twitter, Blue Sky, follow us or whatever it is on Spotify as well. But thank you guys so much and see y'all next week.